Welcome back to Light in the Battle, a podcast where we talk about autism, single motherhood, and trauma recovery, especially in the context of narcissistic abuse and legal abuse. I'm Festina. I'm a single autistic mom, late diagnosed. I'm raising an autistic PDA child, and I'm healing from narcissistic abuse, and I'm winning in court. So I'm here to share with you the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way and that have made a huge difference in my life. So make sure to follow the show if you're also in the midst of legal abuse and looking for ways to regulate the nervous system and to be more impactful in courts. In this episode, I want to talk about the fact that you are allowed to be calm. You're allowed to be calm. If you've been through chaos for a long time, whether that's because of your toxic abusive relationship or because you've been autistic your whole life and the world has not been very friendly to you, calm can feel unfamiliar and wrong. With ADHD and PTSD in particular, calm can feel like you're not reacting enough or pushing enough. You're missing something and you should be more alert to potential danger. And that's your body being used to tension and hypervigilance. And so when things are calm, you don't trust it. Your nervous system doesn't trust it because it's unfamiliar. And sometimes you'll even create stress just to feel familiar again. I was guilty of this for a long time when I would, for example, always leave the house at the last possible minute. So then I'd have to walk really fast to be somewhere on time. And I would do this every day. I'd be on time, but I would put my nervous system under unnecessary stress because it felt familiar. And so over the years, I've had to learn. It started with forcing myself, and now it comes more naturally to give myself an extra 10 minutes to get ready to leave the house slowly, maybe check my hair before I leave, give the dog something to chew on, whatever, and then leave and walk at a normal pace. Because I realized that I was allowed to be calm and it actually felt pretty good. And so I created more and more and more and more occasions for my body and nervous system to be in that state and to tame that new state, which felt unfamiliar in the beginning and then pretty good over time. You're allowed to be calm. It doesn't mean that you don't care, that you're not paying attention, that you're being naive and therefore you're not safe, that you're not protecting your kids enough, that you're not doing enough for your autistic child. What it means when you're calm, all it means is that right now, right this minute, your nervous system is not in survival mode. And that is something you want to reinforce and reinforce and reinforce over time, because that is part of helping the brain fog lift. It gives you space, bandwidth, to start making good decisions, to strategize, and to really improve your quality of life, which will impact your kids' quality of life if you can show up calm more and more frequently. As we talked about in episode 30, you actually don't need to match someone else's nonsense and chaos. And you actually don't need to escalate and explain yourself to be taken seriously. You don't need to engage in the nonsense and in the opposite of calm. You also don't need to prove how much you care through stress. You don't want to burn yourself out as a single mother. And it's actually a trap that autistic people can very easily fall into. And it's something that actually got me in autistic burnout last year. We have so much empathy. We take on projects to help others and to show that we care. And then we're the ones ending up exhausted. And so let's stop engaging deliberately into stress. Because the calmer I became, the more I reinforced that calm, and the more I trained my nervous system that calm was safe and it became a lifestyle, the more powerful and impactful I became, especially in the context of prolonged legal abuse and legal nonsense. Because as I became calmer, I stopped reacting, getting pulled in, getting baited, and creating unnecessary problems, which are all things that don't look good in court. And so, and so my wish for you in this short episode today is that when things feel calm, let them be calm. Let them be calm. When you catch yourself being calm, don't feel like you need to fix it or question it. Just stay there and get used to that feeling and reinforce it over time. That is part of healing your PTSD, of living a more gentle life with autism and ADHD, and it's part of becoming more powerful in your co-parenting dynamic. Remember that I am on Facebook at Light in the Battle. You can follow me there to see the tidbits that I drop every now and then, or you can even chat with me. I do all of this for free. I'm currently engaged in a lot of conversations with survivors, and I'm helping them get more perspective and realize how powerful they actually are in their situation. And I still have time to do that for free. So you can reach out to me on Facebook. And also, if you can please leave this show a 5-star review, it will help the algorithm push it upwards so that more women can see it suggested to them. Thank you so much. And if you're in the thick of it, I like to always say that this life you can take one day at a time. Your only job today is to stay standing until this evening. And then you'll do that again tomorrow and the day after. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.